It's the Marty Show. Hello and welcome to the Marty Show. Today we're going to talk about Night Force by DC Comics, a very interesting and obscure comic from the early 80s by Gene Colan on art and written by Marv Wolfman. Baron Winters is our hero here, he and his pet Merlin. And we've got Baron Winters right here, and our other main heroes are Jack Gold, Vanessa Van Helsing, and Donovan Kane. They changed his name. At first it was Donovan Brown. This is a comic that was first published as an insert in New Teen Titans number 21. It was a 16-page insert, and we found out a little bit about the background of the Night Force and how Baron Winters manipulates them into joining him in his battle against mysterious and dark forces. This comic was meant to be some kind of follow-up to Tomb of Dracula by the same authors. It had a similar vibe and similar themes, although this time it is more a mix of horror and science fiction than just horror. Think of a more serious Ghostbusters and you're not too far off. But unfortunately, the series was short-lived and there are only 14 issues total, and a lot of things are left unresolved. So these are the issues I currently own. I don't have all of them, but I have the first one. This is issue 2 right here. And that's issue 3. A lot of action here. And we've got issue 4. So I've got the first few issues. I think I've got until 5. And then we skip to number 7. And that's pretty much the end of the first story arc here. Then we move on to another story arc. And then we return to our main characters later on. And actually there are only 3 story arcs, and that's the last one here. I've got until number 12, and I don't have 13 and 14, unfortunately. But I like the series very much, so I decided to buy it on Kindle. And you've got the insert at first, and basically you can read the whole series on it. As you can see, the colors have been reworked. That's either a good or a bad thing. Here we have issue 1. Let's look inside and let's see how you feel about that, because this is how the comic looked like when it was released. And I might be a purist, but I kind of prefer the cheap paper version rather than all the reworked colors. And I don't know, there's something more alive to it, especially with Gene Colan's art. It's so much better with like this. Maybe it's just me. In any case, here on the first page, we see all of our main heroes: Jack Gold, Donovan Kane, Vanessa Van Helsing, and of course Baron Winters. The story begins with 2 guys running away from a helicopter, and the helicopter is firing at them. Unfortunately, they get hit and they die. They end up sinking in a canal with their car. And then we get to meet Vanessa Van Helsing. She's the great-granddaughter of Van Helsing. Oh yeah, one thing that goes against what I said earlier here is that you can see that the ebook version has much clearer images than this book right here. And that's the only thing that I can complain about here, is that we don't see the evil forces very clearly in this first issue. At least we don't see them as clearly as we should. But if we go back to the story, we find out that Vanessa is channeling these evil forces, and somehow she is kept in a mental institution. It is believed that she is just crazy. But Baron Winters knows that she has very powerful psychic abilities and can get in touch with dark forces. So he manipulates things in order to get her released from there. He also manipulates journalist Jack Gold into investigating this matter, while Donovan Kane, a parapsychology professor, is being manipulated by dark forces, and he's actually releasing them, channeling them through Vanessa unknowingly, and they cause people to die from these strange apparitions on the streets of the city. While these manifestations happen, Vanessa almost manages to escape, and Donovan loses his connection with what he thinks are satanic forces. Vanessa is caught and returned to her room, while Baron Winters tells Jack Gold to get in touch with Donovan King. Meanwhile, Donovan explains that he's doing his research for the Pentagon. At least that's what he believes, but in fact it's something far more sinister. In the university's parking lot, he comes face to face with the two guys who were killed by the helicopter at the beginning. They're still alive and working for the secret evil organization that we don't know much yet about. And so is the redhead from his class. Donovan heads to the mental institution where he's going to meet up with Jack Gold and Vanessa, and they are going to let her out of the institution to carry out some experiments. All that thanks to Baron Winters' manipulations. See, the Baron is actually Vanessa's legal guardian, and he got Donovan to carry out an experimental treatment for her, while in fact it's a seance, and things go wrong yet again as Vanessa lets out the evil forces and they kill more people. Things end with the Baron in his garden, and as he talks to Merlin, he's saying that things are going according to plan. But we're going to have to read the next issue to figure out what kind of plan that is. The Baron is a very interesting character. We don't really know yet why, but he can't leave his mansion. Why exactly, we will never really know. But one thing we learn is that it allows the Baron to travel through time. It's like a time portal. It's all very intriguing, and action actually picks up in the next few issues. Unfortunately, the story gets a bit muddled at some point after maybe issue 6 or 7, and it never really picks up again, and that may be why interest isn't sustained, and it doesn't really go anywhere as exciting as in the first few issues. That's a shame because it contains a lot of great ideas. It's got amazing art by Gene Colan. It contains ideas and concepts ahead of their time. Basically, I recommend it, but it's not a must-read. I hope you enjoyed this video, and see you next time.
Thanks for watching.